When you reach your 60s and beyond, one of the biggest changes in your body is something most people don't notice right away: the quiet loss of muscle. At first, it may show up as stiffness in your knees when you get out of a chair, or a little extra effort when you climb the stairs. Maybe carrying a bag of groceries feels heavier than it used to, or your balance isn't as steady as before. These small changes may not seem alarming at first, but over time, they add up to something far more serious. Doctors have a name for this process: sarcopenia, the gradual decline of muscle mass with age. And here's the startling truth. After the age of 60, adults can lose up to 3 to 5% of their muscle every decade if nothing is done to stop it. That may not sound like much, but it's the difference between being able to walk independently or relying on a cane, between picking up your grandchild with joy or being unable to lift them at all. The loss of muscle doesn't just affect your strength, it affects everything. It impacts your circulation, your balance, your posture, even your memory and mood. When your muscles weaken, your risk of falling increases, your bones become more fragile, and your ability to live independently can slowly slip away. And for many older adults, this is the moment they fear the most, the day they can no longer rely on their own body. But here's what science has shown us, and this is where the story changes. Muscle decline is not inevitable. It is not a one-way street. Even after the age of 60, your body has the remarkable ability to rebuild strength, restore balance, and regain function. And the best part? You don't need a gym membership, fancy machines, or grueling workouts to make it happen. All it takes are 3 simple science-backed exercises that can be done anywhere, anytime. These 3 exercises are more than movements. They are medicine for your muscles. They reactivate blood flow, strengthen your bones, sharpen your coordination, and even boost your brain health. In fact, research shows that older adults who consistently perform just a few targeted exercises can cut their risk of falling by more than half, extend their independence, and add healthier years to their life. So today, I want to share with you the 3 most powerful exercises that every older adult should know. They are safe, they are simple, and they have the potential to transform the way you age. By the end of this video, you'll understand not only how to do them, but also why they are so effective in protecting your strength, your mobility, and your independence. Because at the end of the day, this isn't about fitness in the traditional sense. It's about freedom. The freedom to get up from a chair without help. The freedom to walk confidently without fear of falling. The freedom to carry out the everyday tasks that make life meaningful. Now let's talk about why muscles begin to decline after the age of 60, because understanding the why is the key to unlocking the solution. From the time we are young, our muscles are in a constant state of renewal. They are made of fibers that break down and rebuild every single day. As children and young adults, the rebuilding process is incredibly efficient. You fall, you scrape your knee, you bounce back. You can run, jump, and climb without even thinking about it. Your body has a surplus of energy, hormones, and nutrients dedicated to building and maintaining strong muscle. But as we age, that process begins to slow. Part of it is hormonal, the natural decline of growth hormone and testosterone in men, or estrogen in women after menopause. These hormones act like the construction workers of your muscles, signaling your body to repair and build. With fewer workers on the job, rebuilding slows down. Another part of the problem is circulation. Healthy muscles depend on a steady stream of oxygen-rich blood. Blood brings nutrients like amino acids, the building blocks of protein, directly to your muscle fibers. But as we age, our blood vessels can stiffen, circulation slows, and muscles are no longer fed as efficiently as before. Imagine a construction site where the building materials arrive late or in smaller supply. The project gets delayed. That's exactly what happens inside aging muscles. Then there's the nervous system. Every muscle contraction is triggered by signals from your brain and spinal cord. These signals travel through motor neurons, which act like tiny electrical wires, telling your muscles when and how to move. As we age, some of these motor neurons die off, leaving fewer connections. Without that spark, muscles begin to weaken and shrink, no matter how much protein you eat. On top of this, many of us unknowingly accelerate muscle loss through our lifestyle. Think about it. Modern life is more sedentary than ever. If you sit for hours at a time, Your muscles don't get the stimulus they need to stay active. Muscles follow the rule of use it or lose it. The less you move them, the faster they atrophy. It's like a car engine. Leave it parked too long and it starts to rust. Here's something else that often surprises people. Muscle is not just about strength. Muscle is an organ of longevity. It acts like a giant reservoir of glucose, helping regulate blood sugar. It secretes powerful molecules called myokines that fight inflammation, boost immunity, and even protect the brain. In fact, research shows that people with more muscle mass in their 60s and 70s not only live longer, but also live better, with sharper memory, stronger immunity, and lower risk of heart disease and cancer. That means when you lose muscle, you lose more than strength. You lose a protective shield for your entire body. This is why falls become so dangerous after 60. It is not just that your legs are weaker, it is that your reflexes are slower, your balance is unsteady, and your bones are more fragile. A single fall can lead to a broken hip, and for many older adults, that one injury can change everything. Statistics show that nearly 1/3 of adults over 65 who fracture a hip never fully regain their independence. But here is the hopeful part, and it is the part that brings us back to why we here. While aging naturally slows down muscle building, it does not shut it off. Your muscles are still alive, they are still listening, they are still capable of growth at 60, 70, 80, even 90 years old. Studies have shown that people in their 80s who perform regular, targeted exercises can build muscle almost as effectively as people decades younger. That means it's never too late to start. In fact, the later you start, the more dramatic the difference you can feel in your daily life. Within just a few weeks of consistent exercise, older adults report climbing stairs with less effort, standing taller, walking faster, and even sleeping better at night. The science is clear. Your muscles are not gone, they are simply waiting to be reawakened. And this brings us to the heart of today's video, the 3 simple exercises that every older adult should begin practicing now. They are not complicated, they don't require special equipment, and they don't take hours of your day. Each one has been carefully chosen because it targets a specific problem that comes with aging: weak legs, poor balance, and loss of core strength. Together, these 3 movements form a powerful prescription for independence and vitality. In a moment, I'll walk you through each of them step by step. But before we do, I want you to pause and reflect on something important. Aging does not mean decline. It does not mean giving up your independence. The truth is, your body is still capable of change. You are still capable of building strength. And if you give your muscles the right stimulus, they will respond, no matter what your birth certificate says. So let's unlock that potential. Let us go step by step through the first exercise that has been shown to restore strength and stability in adults over 60. The very first exercise I want to share with you is one of the simplest movements a human body can perform. It doesn't require weights. It doesn't require a gym. You don't even need special shoes. And yet, it has been shown to dramatically lower the risk of falls, strengthen your legs, and even extend your lifespan. That exercise is the sit to stand. Now you might be thinking, that sounds too easy. But let me explain why it's so powerful. Every time you sit down in a chair and then stand back up, you are performing a compound movement that engages nearly every muscle in your lower body: your quadriceps, hamstrings, glutes, and calves. These muscles are the very same ones that keep you steady when you walk, climb stairs, or catch yourself from a stumble. They're also the muscles that weaken fastest as we age. In fact, one of the strongest predictors of longevity in older adults is the ability to rise from a chair without using the arms for support. Researchers have studied thousands of people over the age of 60 and found that those who could perform this simple movement with ease were more likely to remain independent and live longer lives compared to those who struggled. Why? Because standing up from a chair is not just a physical action, it's a reflection of balance, coordination, muscle strength, and nervous system health all working together. Let me guide you through it. To begin, sit in a sturdy chair with your feet flat on the ground, hip-width apart. Keep your back straight, your shoulders relaxed. Now, without pushing off the armrests or your thighs, lean forward slightly and press your feet into the floor as you rise to standing. Pause for a moment, feel the muscles in your legs engaged, and then slowly sit back down with control. That's 1 repetition. At first, you might only manage 3 or 4. That's perfectly fine. Over time, aim for 10, then 15, then 20. Some people like to practice by timing themselves. How many sit-to-stands can I do in 30 seconds? This is actually used in clinical settings to assess muscle strength and endurance in older adults. The more you practice, the easier it becomes, and you will start to notice something incredible. Everyday activities like getting out of bed, standing from the toilet, or rising from the dinner table begin to feel effortless again. Here's the science of why this works so well. Each time you perform a sit-to-stand, you stimulate your leg muscles, sending a signal to your brain that these fibers are still needed. In response, your body activates satellite cells, special stem cells that live inside your muscles. These cells wake up, multiply, and fuse with existing fibers to repair and strengthen them. Even in your 70s or 80s, those satellite cells are still there, waiting for the signal. And this movement provides exactly that. There's another benefit: balance. When you rise from a chair without using your arms, your body naturally engages your core muscles, the deep stabilizers in your abdomen and back. These muscles act like a natural corset, protecting your spine and keeping you steady as you move. Strengthening them through this exercise directly reduces your risk of falls, the single greatest danger to independence in older adults. I want you to picture this. Instead of struggling to get up from a chair, instead of reaching for the armrest or asking someone for help, you rise with confidence, fluidity, and strength. That simple ability to stand tall restores dignity, independence, and freedom. And here's something fascinating. A study published in the European Journal of Preventive Cardiology looked at more than 2,000 men and women aged 51 to 80. The researchers tested each person's ability to sit down on the floor and stand up again without support. What they found was astonishing. Those who performed best had a significantly lower risk of death over the following years compared to those who struggled. In other words, the ability to rise on your own is not just a test of muscle, it is a predictor of survival. That's why this first exercise, the sit-to-stand, is the cornerstone of what I'm sharing with you today. It is simple, it is safe, and it is one of the most powerful ways to keep your body youthful after 60. But strengthening the muscles that help you stand is only the first step. There's another exercise, one that focuses on stability and balance, the kind of control that can prevent falls before they even happen. And this second exercise might surprise you with how effective it is. The second exercise I want to share with you is all about balance, because strength alone is not enough. Think about it. You can have strong legs, but if your balance is unsteady, one misstep, one slippery floor, or one poorly lit stairway can send you to the ground. And for older adults, a single fall can change everything. That's why exercise number 2 is called the single leg stand. Now, at first glance, this might sound too simple, but the single leg stand is one of the most powerful tools you have to train your body as balance system. When you lift one foot off the ground and stand tall, dozens of tiny muscles in your feet, ankles, and hips switch on like stabilizers. At the same time, your brain, inner ear, and nervous system all work together to keep you upright. It's like flipping on the balance switch inside your body. Let me show you how to do it safely. Start by standing near a sturdy chair or countertop. Place your feet shoulder-width apart, posture tall, shoulders relaxed. Now, slowly lift one foot a few inches off the ground while keeping your gaze steady forward. Hold this position for as long as you can, even if it is just 5 seconds at first. Then lower your foot gently back down, switch to the other leg, and repeat. That's it. It seems so simple, but here's the science. As we age, the sensors in our joints that tell the brain where our body is in space, something called proprioception, become less sharp. The single leg stand retrains these sensors, sharpening their signals and strengthening the pathways between your body and brain. In fact, researchers have found that older adults who practice balance training reduce their risk of falls by up to 40%. That is not just a number, that's dozens of falls prevented, injuries avoided, hospital stays reduced. That's independence preserved. I want to share something fascinating. In Japan, where life expectancy is among the longest in the world, doctors often use a simple test. They ask patients to stand on one leg with their eyes open. Studies there have shown that people who can maintain this posture for 20 seconds or more tend to live longer and have lower risk of strokes. Isn't that remarkable? Something so simple can be such a powerful indicator of longevity. Now, if you're just starting, you may only manage 3 or 4 seconds before your foot drops. That's perfectly okay. Like any exercise, it's about progress, not perfection. Over time, as you practice daily, you'll see yourself go from 5 seconds to 10 to 15 and beyond. Every extra second is your body rewiring itself for steadiness. And for those of you who want to take this further, there are variations. Try closing your eyes for just a moment while standing. This forces your inner ear and nervous system to work harder, or try turning your head side to side while balancing. This trains your brain to adapt to real-life distractions, like looking around while walking. Always practice safely near support, but know that these small challenges can supercharge your balance. Here's why this matters so much. Balance is independence. It's the ability to step confidently into the shower, to walk across the yard without fear, to climb a bus step without hesitation. It's the difference between living with confidence and living with worry. I've seen this firsthand. Patients who began with just 5 seconds of shaky balance transformed over time. Months later, they could hold for 30 seconds, eyes steady, posture strong. And the changes went beyond balance. They walked taller, moved with more certainty, and their families told me they seemed younger, more energetic, more alive. This is the hidden gift of exercise number 2. It doesn't just prevent falls, it restores confidence. And confidence is freedom. Now you might be wondering, what about the upper body? Because yes, legs and balance are crucial, but the third exercise I'll share with you is about protecting something equally important: your posture, your breath, and even your heart health. It's an exercise that strengthens the chest, shoulders, and arms, and it can be done without any equipment at all. The third exercise is all about your upper body, and it might surprise you to hear just how important it is. Many people think of exercise as something that's only about the legs or the heart. But the truth is, your upper body, your chest, shoulders, and arms play a critical role in your independence, your breathing, and even your ability to protect yourself from injury. The exercise I want to share with you is called the wall push-up. Now, before you picture the floor push-ups that athletes do, let me reassure you, this version is safe, gentle, and designed for older adults. And it is one of the best ways to rebuild the upper body strength that naturally declines with age. Here's how it works. Stand facing a wall about an arm's length away. Place your palms flat on the wall, shoulder width apart. Keep your feet firmly planted on the ground, body straight but relaxed. Slowly bend your elbows, lowering your chest toward the wall as you breathe in. Then, press through your palms and straighten your arms as you breathe out, returning to the starting position. That's one wall push-up. Simple, yes, but let's talk about what's happening inside your body when you do this. As you bend and push, your chest muscles activate, your shoulders stabilize, your arms engage, and your core, the muscles of your abdomen, tighten to keep you steady. This single movement lights up the very muscles you use every single day. Pushing open a heavy door, lifting groceries, or bracing yourself as you get out of a chair. And there's something else. Strengthening your chest and upper back helps you maintain good posture. Over time, as we age, we tend to hunch forward, partly because of muscle loss, partly because of lifestyle habits. That rounded posture compresses the lungs, making it harder to breathe deeply. It also puts strain on the spine. By training your chest, shoulders, and back with wall push-ups, you open up your ribcage, stand taller, and allow your lungs to expand more fully. Breathing becomes easier. Circulation improves. Even digestion can benefit when your posture improves. Science supports this. A study from the Harvard School of Public Health found that men who could perform a certain number of push-ups, even wall or modified push-ups, had significantly lower risk of cardiovascular disease. Why? Because these exercises don't just train muscles. They train the heart, they train circulation, and they improve overall endurance. Here's how you can progress safely. Start with 5 wall push-ups. If that feels easy, aim for 10. Over weeks, build up to 20 or even 30. When you're ready for more challenge, step your feet slightly farther back from the wall, increasing the angle. Or try doing push-ups on a sturdy countertop or table, which makes it a little harder. But remember, it's never about how many you do. It's about doing them regularly, with good form and listening to your body. I once worked with a 72-year-old gentleman who began with just 5 shaky wall push-ups. His arms trembled, his shoulders ached, and he doubted whether he'd ever improve. But he kept at it, 5 each morning, then 8, then 12. After a few months, he could do 30 with ease. What changed was not just his muscle strength, his confidence soared. He told me, "Doctor, I feel like I can do things again. I even lifted my granddaughter onto my shoulders last weekend." That is the hidden power of exercise 3. It doesn't just strengthen your body. It strengthens your sense of capability. And when you feel capable, your whole world opens up. Now let's step back for a moment. We've covered 3 powerful exercises: squats for leg strength, single leg stands for balance, and wall push-ups for upper body power and posture. Together, they form a trio, the foundation of lifelong mobility and independence after 60. But I want you to remember something important. These exercises are not about chasing youth. They are about reclaiming your vitality at every age. They are about standing taller, moving with confidence, breathing easier, and living life on your own terms. Because here's the truth. Aging is not a slow decline. It is a chance to grow stronger in new ways, to rediscover the resilience within your body, and to live with courage and grace. Every squat you do, every second you balance, every push-up you press, these are not just exercises. They are messages to your body. I am still here. I am still strong. I am still capable. And that, my friends, is how you build a body that carries you forward, no matter your age. So here we are, at the end of this journey together. We've explored 3 simple, powerful exercises: the squat, the single leg stand, and the wall push-up. They don't require fancy equipment, expensive gym memberships, or hours of your time. What they require is something far more valuable: your decision to take control of your health, your strength, and your independence. When I think about these exercises, I don't just see movements, I see possibilities. I see a 68-year-old woman who once struggled to rise from a chair, standing tall and walking without fear of falling. I see an 80-year-old man who used to hunch forward with aching shoulders, now standing upright, breathing deeply, and lifting his grandchild with joy. I see everyday heroes, people like you, proving that age is not the end of vitality, but the beginning of a new chapter of strength. Science tells us that muscle is the currency of longevity, balance is the guardian of independence, and breath is the rhythm of life. By practicing these exercises, you are nurturing all 3. You are building a body that not only lasts but thrives. You are telling your heart to beat stronger, your lungs to breathe deeper, your bones to grow denser, and your mind to stay sharper. You are reminding yourself that your best days are not behind you. They are still ahead. And maybe the most important part is this: when you choose to move, you are choosing to live. You're choosing to wake up each morning with the confidence that you can climb the stairs, walk into the garden, play with your grandchildren, and live without fear of falling or frailty. You're choosing freedom. So I invite you to start today. Do 1 squat. Stand on one leg for 5 seconds. Push gently against the wall just a few times. Don't wait for tomorrow. Don't wait for next week. Begin now. Because every repetition, no matter how small, is an investment in your future. And remember this: aging is not about counting the years. It is about making the years count. Your body is still listening, still responding, still eager to grow stronger if you just give it the chance. You are not too old, it is not too late, and you are more powerful than you realize. So let's take that first step together. Your journey to strength, balance, and independence starts now. Because every older adult over 60 must do these 3 exercises, not because they have to, but because they deserve to live a life of energy, confidence, and joy. And that, my friends, is the true power of movement.